Okay, cool. So we can talk about this.
But we are, and I explained this to these guys before, because there are people joining us on Facebook Live who have not seen the movie. So we're going to try to remain a little spoiler-free-ish.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
I'm glad I did.
All out.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, okay.
I thought we were all friends here.
We are, but we're not going to spoil it.
But we're friends, Facebook friends. Oh,
Facebook.
Not real friends. The question was about the teeth in the skull crawler.
No.
Oh.
That was a good guess, though.
Okay.
Yes, good to see you're paying attention. Your reaction to seeing Kong realized on screen for the first time. When you're on set, you're acting alongside nothing? Or is there an actor? Like Terry Notary performed...
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing?
No, we asked the requisite question, where is it? How big is it? How fast is it? And depending upon who you ask, you got a varied answer. But for me,
yeah.
First time I saw the movie and we're flying in on those helicopters, she was never that fucking big. It was never that big.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't, in my mind.
I don't think that any of us could imagine that he was that big.
Yeah, because you've got all these answers like, 10 stories high. What does that mean? You know, well, look at that tree right? That's not 10 stories. Right. Look at the rock on that mountain. Really? Or he can jump from that peak to this peak. He's that big? What is that? So you just didn't know. Larry was always laughing. Mr. Fong, our hilarious DP, was constantly laughing. They don't know what they're talking about. So we never got a really great answer, because even down to that point when we're all that close to him right there at the end, I kept saying, well, how big is his head? Remember I was asking that? Because I was like, well, are our clothes going to be moving when he's breathing and that kind of stuff? And what? Remember I was like, so.
Deep recap. The main thing is, we had to imagine in a giant prehistoric ape, and he wasn't on set. And then when we saw him, it was cool.
That was a great answer. That was perfect.
Yeah.
And just to go back to my first answer to your question that you didn't ask, I do think that the skull crawler has too many teeth.
Too many teeth? Like they're unnecessary? Like it just doesn't need that many?
Yeah, I think they went too far.
Less teeth.
I think they could have pulled it back a little bit.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that she imagined the skull crawler with less teeth.
I imagined it with no teeth.
There were no
And
teeth.
so any more than one tooth was too many teeth.
Now you knew what Kong was going to look like in theory, but did you know what the skull crawlers would look like, or any of the other creatures you're sort of acting like? Did you have a sense from concept art of what that would even be?
No, the skull crawler, less so. We knew they were going to be creepy and sort of monstrous and unappealing.
I don't want to know, where is it, how fast is it, how big is it? And, well, where is it? If, this flash camera's going off in it, where is it? We can see that, right? And they're like, yeah. So where is it? It's very fast. How fast? I mean, if I aim at him right here, does he go that fast, or does he like go that fast? What, can I track him with my rifle, or do I have to just shoot in places where he's not going to be? But we were busy trying not to shoot each other. There was a little confusion about that too sometimes.
Not shooting each other?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, not fake shooting.
Everybody's saying, there's this thing running around, and we're like, well, how many of them are there? Because for a minute, they didn't know if it was 1, 2, 3, or how many. So people are aiming all kinds of places. Well, hey, you're shooting at me. So you can't do that. So we were trying to stay out of crossfires. We didn't want people who were actually in the service, watching soldiers shooting at each other because they were panicking or whatever. So we were talking to the military advisors about placement and doing that kind of stuff. But you have a competent group of actors who can do the human stuff. So we were very confident in what we were doing, our relationships, and all that was working. So we knew that, the big job was making sure that things were scary. And they did a pretty good job of that, and like you said, we didn't know what to think sometimes, or well, what's it really look like, or how big is the big one? When John C. said, oh, that's a big one, What the hell does that mean? Well, how big was the other one? So it's just one of those things you have to wait till a movie comes out because you really, I mean, I got a great imagination. I've been running away from big shit in my life all my life. In my head. Well, yeah, and that's what we do. When you're kids, you go see a King Kong movie. We used to go home and pretend we were running away from King Kong. And we knew Mighty Joe Young wasn't the biggest King Kong, but it was still a gorilla and was scary. You know, and we knew that, you know, if Godzilla was chasing us, we had to make sure, you know, not to be around a certain building or get up from under his foot because he could step on buildings and stuff. You know. So you had an understanding of, okay, I know how to run from some big shit. Just tell me how big it is.
I don't even know how to follow that up. I don't even know where to go from here. But with all that CGI, Brie, this was your first time sort of doing anything quite on this scale, right? I mean,
Yes.
With this level of CGI, what was that like as an actress to sort of adapt from some of the roles that you had done to something? Like, it wasn't a slow progression, like you went from 0 to 60 in terms of work.
I mean, to be totally honest, I didn't know how it was going to go. I was just like, I'm going to trust myself, and I'm going to trust that I can look at this little tiny pink X and pretend like it's a really big 100-foot gorilla, and I'm going to love it with all my heart. And you don't know. I mean, I auditioned, and I was like, I have to believe that if I get this job, that I can do that, and I'm not going to be an embarrassment to my family.
So it's really weird. My job is always imagination. It's always about suspending your disbelief, and no matter what I'm doing. But this just seemed like such a big leap, and yet it was not hard at all. It took, I mean, you were there. You were there. I don't remember it being a huge thing. It was just like, now you have to pretend to touch Kong, and you have nothing but a pink tape X, and it was just there.
Did you where you were touching it when you touched it?
Well, I had a pink X tape as
Yeah,
I
did they
saved.
say that's his nose, or you're touching him on the ear, or did anybody give you that?
No. Did it have that? I don't know, Tom. I don't have a good memory.
It's definitely the face that we knew.
I knew it was the face, but I don't know if I
His
knew
eyes
it
or
was.
something.
I think I knew it was his nose, but I don't think I knew how much of his nose I was touching. Like what percentage of his nose my hand.
You weren't worried about getting Kong snot on your hand?
No, I had to trust Sam. It was a moment of trust.
A big Kong booger?
No, I mean it's so boring because I think it's actually quite beautiful in the movie, but in reality it's like I'm touching nothing and it's a fan blowing on me.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's really nothing.
See, at least he was breathing on you. I kept wanting that breath thing.
That's my moment. That's why you didn't have the hair for it, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You should have committed to the 70s hairstyle. Maybe
I
Jordan
had
didn't
a
do that
scar.
moment.
I had a gorgeous scar.
For all the CGI that's in the movie, though, the way the film is shot, it's a lot of sets you guys shot in Vietnam and Hawaii. Is that freeing as an actor to sort of work in an environment where there's as limited amount of green screen as possible? It's not like you were shooting on an air-conditioned studio lot somewhere.
Right, yeah. We, you know, if you're imagining all the monsters, to not have to imagine the sun and the wind and the palm trees and the rainforest, that was helpful. I can imagine it would have been very sterile, having to imagine sort of everything.
Yeah.
And we got to go to these incredible places, Oahu and Hawaii and Queensland and Australia and Northern Vietnam. Northern Vietnam is unlike anywhere I think any of us have ever seen. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
Do you prefer the soundstage, like a cool, comfortable soundstage, to the hot, like buggy jungle, or is it just sort of two aspects of acting that?
You know.
For this, I prefer the jungle, if I'm honest.
Right.
There was one scene, when Brie and I are up on the mountain with Kong, that was in the soundstage, and having been outside the whole time, it felt very weird to be inside. And so I think for this, being outside was better, yeah.
Was it a tough shoot? I mean, it seemed long. I know there was, some of you guys are on social media, and there was a lot of like just days off where you would go screw around at a mall. I mean, there's got to be some sense of camaraderie when an ensemble cast is out and you're filming in all these locations, and it was taking weeks to shoot. That you're, I mean, is it like grueling after a while? And it's
It was grueling after the first day. It wasn't after a while. I mean, I didn't realize
and this is why when you do a film like this, you train. I always thought it was like so that you looked really good, but it's actually not. It's just so that you don't like break your leg because you're climbing so many things. It's a real test of strength in a way that I had never experienced before. I mean, when you think about like, I'll hike for an hour and I'm like, oof, that was a lot. But I like hike at like my own pace. This was like, can you run up this mountain like 800 times today? And thank you so much, and we'll do that again for the next 6 months. It was just, and they're counting on you to be able to do that in a way that you have to take care of your body and be ready to go in a way that I just had never experienced before. And on top of it, we're actually outside. My day started at 4 a.m. so that I could be ready to go when the sun came up. And we stopped shooting as the sun went down and we ran out of light. So, well, that's actually very true. Sometimes that was not the case. So, yeah, sometimes there's nighttime and we're like, it's still day. We'll just keep shooting. But
it's camaraderie through agony at a certain point.
Yes.
Because at one point we realized we've been walking for like 8 days and haven't said anything. It's like, does anybody have any dialogue this week? We were walking, we were going through chest high grass, and then we were going through bamboo forests and bamboo jungles, and it was just agonizing. And they say cut, and you couldn't go back to your chair, you couldn't go back to your trailer, so you just kind of dropped where you were. And if you weren't careful, you'd like drop into an anthill. And all of a sudden it's like, shit, I'm covered in ants. Ants off you, and it would rain out of nowhere. It'd be a bright sunny day, and then all of a sudden it just get dark, and just rain. And then it's like the ground would start sucking your feet, taking your boots off. It was agony. It was agony.
We were in it together. We were all just in one tent together, and after about 4 months, I was like, I need my own space. I am with dudes all the time. Like, I don't want to hear about what you ate, what you're going to do and lift later after you work out, what you're going to eat for breakfast tomorrow. I'm tired of it. And so I thought I was going to be like, I'm going to wander out. I'm in the jungle.
Yeah, but still, you were in charge of what?
I mean, I was in charge of
what became known
I had my own time.
as the Brie King.
I wandered out and I got attacked by bugs, and it wasn't
Brie
okay.
King. She always planned the weekend activity for all of us.
Yes, the weekends were quite epic.
Racing, laser tag.
Why have a weekend where you can have
Water puppets. Yeah.
Water puppets, you're talking about laser tag, riding the animals.
cards?
The karaoke was great.
Karaoke was excellent.
Great.
What song did you sing in karaoke? I have to know.
I always do like early 2000s R&B because that's just important.
So we're going to open up to some questions that people ask us through social media. The Ask Out hashtag, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our first question is from Adam Panter. What was the most difficult and interesting scene to shoot for this movie? Also so excited to see it look so cool.
Thank you, Adam Panter.
It was probably the boneyard sequence, I would say, wouldn't you say?
No, we decided today it was a helicopter.
We've been doing
Sorry, it was the helicopter crash.
We decided earlier today.
Yeah, earlier today it was a helicopter crash because it was strange because when the helicopters hit the ground,
Oh yeah, that's
they were upside down, I was upside down, so they had to figure out a way. The hardest thing to do was to get in an upside down helicopter seat. So it
And
took
also
like,
in the seatbelt again.
yeah, it took like 3 people to hoist you upside down in a seat and then strap you in the helicopter, and then it hurt like hell because all your weight's pulling down on the straps.
I know, and you don't have breasts. It really sucks.
Hurt, yeah, it hurt really badly. So and then you gotta wait till somebody runs around and they set lights and then they're okay, action, and you hit the thing and you fall on your head. But luckily I had a helmet on at that point. But yeah, that was real hard. Getting in and out of an upside down helicopter.
So there you go, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Next is Florence Du Passy.
The feet.
Yeah, thank you. Australia, rainforest, Vietnam, Hawaii, horrible little bugs. Who amid the cast got the most mosquito bites?
Mosquitoes.
Were mosquitoes the biggest pest? Sam mentioned ants, but
I think leeches.
leeches? Seriously?
Yeah, people were walking in that water, people were getting leeches.
I had a little in the swamp at the end. Because we had to run through the swamp for about 7 or 8 days, and I had half a wetsuit underneath my trousers, my pants. Forgive me. Momentary Britishness. Anyway, so there was a moment where we were like between takes, and we were having to run through this thing, and I was like, "What is that?" So I had to turn around and hide behind the bush, and a little bug was crawling up the inside of the wetsuit on his way north. So thank God I caught it before something drastic happened.
That was like your superhero origin story. Like, oh, today you stopped it. Who knows? You could have been Leech Man.
I didn't like white people with leeches.
I didn't know about that. I'm glad I
You
didn't
missed
know
that?
about that. I'm really glad I didn't know about
Yeah,
that.
it's not good among my guys.
Next is Scott McCarthy. He has a question for Samuel L. Jackson. Who was more challenging to work with, Kong or Joe Pesci?
Actually, well, I'd have to say Kong because I never knew where he was or how big he was. And Joe was very helpful to me. He was one of the few people on that Goodfellas set that actually talked to me. You know, so it was interesting to shoot in that way.
Nobody talked to you on the set of Goodfellas?
Joe, you know, it was one of those kind of shoots where they used to hide me in people's houses because I didn't really have a trailer.
Right.
So we were shooting over where John Gotti's Hunting Fish Club was, and they would like put me in some mafia dude's house to hang out until it was time for me to work. So I'd be sitting around watching TV with these guys, and eating dinner with them or whatever. And then when I got on set, De Niro didn't actually talk to me, so he didn't talk to me, my character. So we didn't talk. We didn't actually talk till we started doing Jackie Brown, which was years later. And most of the other guys, there were some other guys who would talk to me that had actually done time with my character, Stax. So they would say, "Yeah, I knew Stax in prison. You know, me and him did time together. You know, they used to call him Stax because he wore a platform shoe. You're way taller than he is." So they would talk to me about crimes they had committed together. They were like extra dudes, but most of the real actors in the movie, if they didn't have any real dealings with me, they didn't talk to me.
All right. Next question is from Tara Wyndham. My 6th grade son, an aspiring paleontologist, wants to know what your favorite prehistoric megafauna are. We are both looking forward to being awed by the movie monsters.
That's the most intellectual tweet I've ever seen. Prehistoric means sharks?
Megafauna is not. Megafauna is plant life, right?
Oh God, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
So trees.
Right? Are we right? Is megafauna
No, my megafauna is animals.
big animals? Big animals. Sorry.
So like
Flora and fauna.
But
woolly mammoths.
prehistory, I know that sharks came before trees, Linda.
Okay.
Triceratops.
Oh God, that's me too.
Triceratops.
Yeah. Big.
You know, they used to have, in Australia, they used to have giant marsupials.
Really?
Yeah. Like way ago, because it was a whole separate, it's all the way down there, but they had a whole, the reason kangaroos and all of those things are only native to Australia is because they're descendants from the giant marsupials that used to roam the plains of Australia. So yeah, imagine a giant kangaroo. I'm just imagining that right now. It's a different movie, isn't it? Kangaroos.
Photoshop abilities and is working on that right now.
Tweet that at Ask Alamo. We can maybe get that on the screen before the end. Derek Doan wants to know, what are you most excited for audience to see from the movie, but we have to sort of remain spoiler free. It's so hard.
Really?
Come on, Derek, Dawn. You gotta see it.
Kong is the star of this movie. We're excited for you to see Kong. And it's, you know, a new realization of who Kong is, what he does. I mean, you have moments in the movie where he's by himself, you know, just kind of strolling around, thinking about life. Get his Kong on. So
Like
that's an
calamari.
interesting moment. Yeah, you know. Interesting take on calamari. It's awesome.
Jade Hickey wants to know for all three, if your character were a mixed drink, what drink would they be? Brie?
There used to be a scene of this actually where I had to decide because she drank. It was just whiskey straight. Shout out for whiskey straight. Thank you.
Tom, mixed drink, your character.
Oh God.
Come on, G&T. You're a G&T.
I'll let you. If that's what. That's. Do you think I'm a G&T? Okay.
Is that,
Yeah.
that's a good thing?
I guess so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Brie?
It's like effervescent. It's citrusy.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
There you go.
It's new and old. Like,
That is-
come on.
That is Tom in a nutshell.
That is
Right.
He
nice.
did say mixed though. Didn't he say mixed?
Oh, so I can't be whiskey straight?
No, it's not mixed.
Whiskey and water.
It'd be something like,
Okay, there's an ice cube.
Like,
That'd
that'd be something like coming in a hot tub.
I don't want to have this conversation with you right now. Okay, well, let's talk
How
about
many
it.
people in there have had that drink? See, there you go.
Whiskey straight, that's not fair.
That was a coming in a hot tub movie.
I never want to order this. Or I always want to order this. This is not okay. Into my life at this time, Sam.
Monday movie nights with Sam Jackson.
Okay, brass monkey. Why about that?
Okay.
That
Oh,
monkey.
it's like thematic.
Yeah.
Nuria wants to know if you can describe Kong in 3 words. And I don't know if she's referring to the movie or the creature, so I'll let you guys interpret that how you see fit.
Big, fast, and nappy.
Keep going. Cues for you can't talk about it. Like, cues for all 3. Do you prefer on location or in studio? We sort of covered that a little bit, but I think you guys agreed that it's.
Regina Blankenship, we did.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say her name.
I kind of like that air-conditioned bug-free jungle we had in Target.
Yeah.
You did talk about that a lot while we were covered in bugs in an actual jungle. Like, I just did this movie and I kind of figured this out. And we were in a much better situation. I liked being in the actual location.
Jordan Garcia Davis wants to know, what is your favorite Skull Island creature in this movie? So hyped for Thursday. Kitten emoji.
I personally love the water buffalo. I don't know why. Yeah. Some love for water buffalo in the room.
Yeah, we all do, because we saw a bunch of them in the morning when we were going to work.
That's true.
We
yeah.
always saw water buffalo.
Yeah.
One little old lady and 4 big water buffaloes and a switch. Meandered on down the road. It's kind of cool.
Oh, rap.
Rap. That's
Okay.
I know.
Bye.
Yeah, no, we don't have to say. Do we have to say goodbye? I think we do. The screen is telling us that we have to wrap. So
I
I
guess
guess
those people get to ask all the questions.
Do you have any
people actually
questions?
sitting here.
Yeah, this is weird. I feel like we didn't.
Yes, sir. What do you have for question?
I just lost control of this room. I am such a bad moderator. Okay, since Tom says
This guy with the
that guy with glasses.
Use your outdoor voice.
I'll.
No, it was not.
He was asking, was it Sam's idea to say, hold on to your butts in Jurassic Park?
No, it was already in there, and we were shooting in Jurassic Park. So I said we pass those people every day on their 4x4s.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
How you want to say it? Come on, the hot tub is a drink. I don't know, I don't drink. But I know it's a drink. Look it up, you got Google. That's what Google's for.
Okay.
What does it say?
Go Plaid. Tell me what's up.
Vodka,
vodka, white rum, and bacon.
Shout out.
That is so wrong. That didn't make me more interested.
It doesn't even sound appetizing on any level.
No, and I don't like how literal it is. It's not okay. Moving on. Just prehistoric. It's one of the questions.
amazing, amazing thing. I mean, Kong is almost as old as cinema. And you know, you think of like the 1933 movie, people were watching him on the silver screen for the first time. The silver screen itself was a new thing, and he's still going. And the cinema is just over a century old, and Kong is 84 years old. So to be part of that legacy is just incredible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a serious thing. You don't want to fuck it up. You know? Okay, this shit better be good if I'm in it, because I want to see me in a good comic movie. Having watched all those other ones, you want it to be good, you want it to be great, and you want it to be credible. And it's a real honor for me to kind of stand up to that big thing the way my character has to in this particular film, and to sort of create the Ahab versus the whale mentality that I needed to make that work for me, you know, to say that, you know, I'm a man, you're a beast, I'm gonna bring you to your knees. And I had a chance to do that. Rocket launcher in the eye, movie would have been over.
So I think that's a wrap, unless Tom wants to come on. Okay.
There's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you are, say it, speak.
No, the girl behind you.
Oh, sorry.
You're next. The girl behind you. Are you excited to play? Excited to play Captain Marvel and join your two co-stars in the Marvel universe?
Yes. Heck yes. Cool. Okay, and then you in the front who started talking, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right in front there.
What were you going to say?
Did this room take place in the same universe? Oh boy. We went one question too far.
Oh, no, I think I know the answer to that question. That's a big old no.
Advice for directors on working with actors and how to
Why you looking
coach
at me? I'm
them.
not a director.
I just feel like,
You direct.
You directed a movie.
I think smart directors hire actors they don't need to direct.
Yeah, it's true.
Hopefully.
Yes. This is actually, he's tapped into a huge point, which is you hire actors that you love their instincts, so you don't have to start from square one. You can have certain conversations that guide in certain directions, but the idea is that you cast the right person and then you let them run with it.
The actor you don't want is the one you have to pull the performance from. The actor you want is the actor that shows up with too much shit. So you can say, okay, we don't need to do that, you don't need to do that, you don't need to do that, just do this thing right here. But if you've got to pull it out, you need to find a new actor.
I mean, I think he's a director, I don't know. Sounds like you're a
Never
director.
directed a thing.
It doesn't matter, it just, nothing.
I give directors directions. I just refuse to do what someone wants me to do. Well, I don't have time for that.
Oh boy. What's your favorite dinosaur? Sam already said Triceratops, right?
Yeah.
So he's done.
I like the fan head thing.
Yeah.
I like Velociraptor. Cool.
That shit ain't real.
Straight up want to be friends with the Brontosaurus.
Well,
Yes, did no one in here watch Land Before Time? Thank God, I'm not alone in the world.
No spoilers. What did we say?
those people aren't online
The
anymore.
Facebook people putting that.
They closed this tab a long time ago.
They
After
were like, it got
coming to Bath, everybody logged on.
I mean, really. I mean,
It wasn't a hot tub, it was also a hot tub.
Was it a hot
one of
tub?
those questions where you go like, so, how about that whole Vietnam War thing in 1973 and that whole feeling you guys were doing the movie? Because there's a lot of that shit going around in the reviews about, you know, it's like, the war and the confusion in Washington. And they set the movie in 1973, so they have all this political background and Movie set in 1973 because this Kong is like 11 years old and he's still growing. So by the time he catches up to this time and they want to make that other movie, he will have grown big enough to be a formidable opponent for that other thing. Don't overthink it. That's just me.
Just have to think about who you put your money on.
And the environment. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Do
Man,
people have like
a
lives?
jacket major. Oh.
Like, hungry for a second meal? Like, I'm stressed for you. Okay, there's one lonely hand. This is the last hand.
Way up
Last
in the
question.
back.
All right, last
Bring
question.
it out.
Make it a good one. Wow.
Thank you for
A
caring
press
about our
junket
health.
question.
Are you worried about us because we're so loopy? I
It's a
know.
long
Yeah.
day.
Went from LA
We're getting a
to
little
Mexico
babbly.
to here.
The question was, how's the
all-
press junket going? And I think, are you guys tired, worn out?
I'm having
are.
a great time. Today alone, I've heard stories from Sam about some of the films he's made that I've never heard in my life. It's every day is movie night with Sam Jackson. I love it.
Wow, that's kind of hard because I tell stories all the time. London was cool, it was great. Then went to Mexico City over the weekend, which they said was awesome.
It's awesome.
They
Yeah.
said
It was
Mexico City
awesome.
killer. It was from London to Mexico City. I had to come here to do Fallon, so I missed that. But they had chalupas with Bree's face on them.
No, that's a totally different thing.
What was
Someone
it?
drew me sitting on a falafel. That's not the same thing as chalupa with my face on. Get the facts straight.
And where do you find those things again?
On Instagram.
And it's called.
Celebs on sandwiches.
You better heard of that? Anybody follow
It's
them?
very, very joyful, and I recommend it. I'm right
Celebs
there
on
with
sandwich.
the people. Beyonce
Joy.
sitting on an ice cream sandwich. And
New shit to waste your time with.
And they haven't done a Sam on a sandwich yet?
We didn't get a chance.
No.
Today was so busy.
No, they had Beyonce on an ice cream.
No,
stand.
this account has been around for a while. Guaranteed, you are totally sitting on something that's between bread. I don't know what it is.
Really?
We're gonna figure it out. I've become friends with this person on Instagram, so I'm gonna write.
Oh, yeah, check on me, would you?
I totally will.
See what I'm doing.
Yeah.
See if I'm on
I'll help
something
with
else.
other